Back in the class of 2021, there were some big-time quarterback prospects. You had guys like Drake May, Caleb Williams, and Quinn Ewers, who went on to be college football stars, and 2 of them were drafted in the top 10, and another will soon be off to the NFL. You also had guys like JJ McCarthy, Kyle McCord, and both Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe. There were a ton of big names, but there's one guy who was supposed to be up there with them. He was the son of a former college football legend and had the makings of the next big thing that could help save the Washington program. We all know about a quarterback who came through Washington and became a top 10 pick in Michael Penix Jr., and that's sort of what Sam Huard was supposed to be. Coming out of Kennedy Catholic High School in Washington, Huard was next up and was supposed to save Washington's program after being the highest rated quarterback to ever commit there. Sadly, Sam Huard was not able to make it work at Washington and will now be at his 4th school this upcoming fall. In today's video, I want to talk about the rise and fall of Sam Huard and what's next for him. We're going to go through how he became a 5-star recruit, what has happened in his 4-stop college career, and what could be on the horizon for him this upcoming season. But before we get started, if you're a big fan of college football, be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you want to support today's video, and let me know what player, team, topic, or situation I can cover next. Now let's get started and talk about what happened to Sam Huard. Before we get started with the video, I want to give a quick shout out to AndersDoll6884 for suggesting this video on Sam Huard. If you have a future player I should take a look at next, be sure to drop that suggestion down below and you might be featured on here. Also be sure to check out my playlist with all of them. Okay, so in order to understand Sam Huard's story, we first need to go back in time and meet his father, Damon. He was a quarterback for the Washington Huskies in the 90s, and he finished his career as the Huskies' all-time passing leader with 5,600 yards. He went undrafted in the NFL, but he'd have a son named Sam who would later take on the quarterback position too. He was also related to Brock Huard, who's a former Washington quarterback and a 3rd-round pick and college football commentator. The bloodline was in the Huard family, and it would be passed down to Sam. His last name meant a lot to him. He said, quote, "It means everything to me. At the same time, I really want to go on my own path and my own journey. It's really important for me to carry on the Huard name and to represent it the best way I can." Sam's first word in life was apparently ball, and at the age of 4 years old, he loved it and was invested in the sport early on. Like he had a choice. Sam started tackle football in 6th grade, playing in the Eastside Crusaders Youth League. He could name all the NFL quarterbacks and different quarterback schemes, and his high school coach knew he'd be special even in his youth. He said, quote, "And I remember thinking, man, this kid's going to be a great quarterback someday." You could tell immediately he was going to be the quarterback who took it very seriously. His family got him training and gave him the guidance he needed to become a star quarterback, so when he arrived at Kennedy Catholic High School in Bellevue, Washington, he'd only have to be a backup for a year before he would take over. This was never supposed to happen though, as he always thought he'd go to Eastside Catholic High School, but Kennedy's new coach and system got him to go there instead. Head coach Sheldon Cross put Sam in a position to be a star. He said, quote, "We run the air raid system, similar to Mike Leach or Graham Harrell. It allowed me to show I can make every throw a quarterback could make," Huard said. The system would help him put up big numbers and get recruited, but could it hurt his groove down the road? Maybe. As he began to blow up, he was asked about where he wanted to go. He said, quote, "I never thought of playing anywhere else. Nevada was the first to offer, and my mom went with me to Tennessee, but really I was waiting for the offer from Washington." Coach Chris Peterson offered him a scholarship towards the end of his sophomore season, and he committed 11 days later. This was in November of 2018, and he was part of the class of 2021. Before that, Sam had taken unofficial visits to South Carolina and Tennessee, had been to USC a couple of times, and had even attended a camp at Washington State. But he always wanted to go to Washington and inked his name there. Because of his dad's Dolphins connection with Dan Marino, the two co-owned a winery, and because of that, Sam got to train with Marino. What did scouts have to say? They said, quote, "He has a quick, effortless release with no wasted motion. He can make all the throws, is equally adept at the deep ball, while also delivering the short and immediate throws with ease. High football IQ, can read the defense, get through progressions, and deliver the ball. He projects as an immediate Power 5 starter and a future first-round NFL draft pick." In 2021, the Kennedy Catholic standout became the state's all-time leader in passing yards, as he had 13,214 and passing touchdowns, 153. He was better than his dad and uncle were in high school, and expectations were going to be through the roof. He was close to Kellen Moore's touchdown record, and even broke Brett Rippon's yard record, and Sam had done everything, and it was time to think about his next steps. He was going to be happy to step on the field in purple. He said, quote, "It's really exciting to think about. Just knowing I can be at those games and look up in the stands and see my family, it's awesome." According to 24/7 Sports, Huard was a 5-star recruit, the number 3 quarterback, and the 12th best player in the class of 2021. Sadly, despite the quarterback bloodline, Huard's career at Washington did not go as planned. So how would he do as a Husky? First, let's hear a word from today's sponsor, MyBookie. The 2024-25 football season might be wrapping up here shortly, but if you have a strong conviction about a certain team winning, go ahead and head on over there. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions like a weekly risk-free boost on Thursdays where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. But that's just the beginning. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super, Survivor, and Square contests. Get your entries now in for your shot at huge cash rewards. When you're ready to get started, be sure to use my promo code Fisher50 and make sure to get some extra cash on top of your first deposit. If you type in Fisher50, you'll get up to $1,000 in a welcome bonus bet plus a $10 casino chip. MyBookie's tiered bonuses make it easy to deposit with crypto or with credit, and the bigger your deposit, the bigger your bonus. The bonus would be 100% match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. With MyBookie, you can bet on anything, anywhere, at any time, and make your season a winning season. Be sure to check out my link down below and use my promo code Fisher50. Well, he ended up getting his first opportunity against Arizona, as Dylan Morris had gotten a terrible nosebleed. Sadly, Jimmy Lake mismanaged that entire team in 2021, so Sam just handed the ball off a few times before Dylan came back. Lake said, quote, "Normally what you would do with a younger player is you would make sure it plays that he feels really good about. He knows all the plays, but you definitely want to set him or anybody up for success." Despite Morris struggling immensely, Huard never really got much of a chance, and when he played, he was set up for failure, and it looked like he was not ready to play at all. Huard had played in 5 games during his 2 years with the Huskies, throwing for 265 yards with 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. After a very brief and not very impactful 2 seasons, he decided to enter the portal, and this was extremely difficult. He said, quote, "What do I want more? Do I want to go play right now, or do I want to continue to stick it out because this has been my dream? Do I really want to leave here like this, having not played much? It was not how I expected to come into UW, but sometimes that's life. Part of me just really wanted to stick it out and continue to grow and develop, and then hopefully get my opportunity down the road. But I wanted a fresh start and a chance to compete and go play. That's what ultimately led me to making this decision." He was going to be stuck behind Michael Penix Jr. and Dylan Morris, so I guess it was time for him to go. The Husky staff told him that he could come back to Washington if he didn't get a ton of attention, but then he announced his commitment to an FCS school in Cal Poly. As all of a sudden Michael Penix and Kalen DeBoer would take over the world with Michael Penix Jr., Huard was down at the FCS level, and he actually started playing extremely well. In his first game against San Diego, he ended up throwing for 326 yards with a touchdown. He also had 325 yards and 6 touchdowns in another game, and then also 3 touchdowns against Montana State, 2 against Northern Colorado, and 2 against both Sacramento State and Weber State. In total, in his 1 year at Sacramento State, Huard threw for 2,205 yards with 18 touchdowns and 10 picks. He ended up having a successful 1 year and would decide to enter the transfer portal to once again take advantage of his stock and hopefully get back up to the Power 4 level. That is exactly what would happen, as he would join the Big 12 and became a Utah Ute. Despite them having Cameron Rising and Zach Wilson's little brother, Sam Huard saw it as a good opportunity, and he decided to go to Utah. Sadly though, he was never able to really get anything going there, as he never once saw the field. Despite tons of different quarterback issues, such as Rising not being able to play, Isaac Wilson's struggles, and Rose's injury, Huard never once saw the field. I'm not quite sure why he never saw the field, as Utah really had nothing to lose at some points, but the point is, he didn't. He would decide to spend only 1 year in Utah before entering the portal for the 3rd time. Just a couple of days ago, he announced that he'll be going to USC for his next season of college football, and I believe this is his last year of eligibility. He'll now all of a sudden be a backup for the Trojans, who really do have an interesting quarterback room. Many are probably wondering why the heck Sam Huard is going there, but for the Trojans, this one makes a lot of sense. He's a quarterback who still has a decent amount of potential, has shown some life at the FCS level, and more importantly is a good insurance policy. It also helps that his family is on staff there, as USC's new quarterback coach is Luke Huard, and he is the nephew of him. I guess he will technically have 2 years of eligibility remaining, and currently USC's quarterback room consists of Jaden Mayava, who started the last 4 games of the 2024 campaign, and then 5-star freshman Husan Longstreet. Mayava will probably be the guy for the first couple of weeks, if not the entire season, and Longstreet is the guy they are grooming to be the next big thing there. He flipped from Texas A&M, and I don't really know where Sam Huard fits. If Mayava struggles or goes down with injury, I think Longstreet will probably get an opportunity first, but if Husan's not ready, or there's some injury issues, I could see a world in which Sam Huard's there. Maybe Sam is positioning himself in Los Angeles for that very reason, or maybe he's trying to become a coach at some point. I really don't know, but we'll see what happens here. USC is not an easy school to play quarterback at, and if he couldn't get on the field at Utah and couldn't really do anything at Washington, it's hard for me to see him playing much this year. Sure, he had that one good year at Cal Poly, and especially at these high-profile schools, it's very difficult. I remember being super excited for Huard when he was coming out of high school, and I thought it was super unique that he was going to Washington and that he could potentially make the Huskies a better program. Unfortunately, he didn't end up working out there, and to me it's sad because he was a legacy, and he probably really wanted to. Sometimes when a player goes to their dream school, it works, and sometimes it doesn't. It kind of worked out for Bo Nix, and it definitely worked out for Brady Cook at Mizzou, but Sam Huard just wasn't meant to be there. Michael Penix ended up having crazy success, brought them to the college football playoff, and brought them to the top of college football, and that's what Huard was supposed to do. Hopefully he'll get an opportunity this year with USC, and while I am surprised he has 2 more years of eligibility, I don't think we'll particularly see a ton from him. I could definitely be wrong, but for now we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But what do you guys think? If you're a Washington or Utah fan, what went wrong for Sam Huard? How do you think he'll do in 2025? And what other players should I cover next? Be sure to let me know down below, leave a like if you want to support today's video, subscribe if you're new, and check out all of the videos on the end screen. Hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.